Most people watched Bad Bunny walk the Met Gala 2026 red carpet and thought, great look, great moment, superstar doing superstar things. They saw the suit, they saw the energy, they saw the photos. And then they moved on to the next celebrity on the steps. But a very small number of people saw something else entirely. They saw a name, not Bad Bunny. Not the stage name that has been on every streaming chart, every Grammy ballot, and every Super Bowl broadcast for the last several years. A different name, a quieter name, one that had been sitting in a trademark filing for clothing that most of the world had not noticed. Benito Antonio, his real name, filed as a trademark, tied specifically to fashion, and debuted publicly for the first time in a major visual context on the steps of the most photographed fashion event in the world, in a custom suit he helped design in collaboration with Zara. Not a suit selected from a designer's existing collection, not a piece pulled from a stylist's rack, a custom piece co-created with his direct input in the design process. The name Benito Antonio was visually present in the Met Gala context for the first time, fashion's biggest night, the most photographed red carpet in the world, hundreds of millions of eyeballs, first visual debut of a name that has a pending trademark in fashion. That is not a coincidence. That is a calendar. Exhibit C. The Zara connection is not new. This is not the first time Bad Bunny and Zara have been in the same sentence. The Super Bowl jersey, the one that became one of the most discussed wardrobe moments of the entire halftime show, was a Zara collaboration. He wore it in front of over 100 million viewers. The fashion world noticed, the streetwear world noticed, and then he showed up to the Met Gala with another Zara co-design. Two massive cultural stages, same brand, his name on the trademark. This is not a one-off partnership. This is a relationship being built in public, one high-visibility moment at a time. Here is the part that is genuinely brilliant and genuinely suspicious at the same time, because those two things are not mutually exclusive when you are watching someone operate at this level. Bad Bunny is a stage name. It is the name of a cultural phenomenon, the most streamed artist on Spotify for 3 consecutive years, the Grammy winner, the Super Bowl headliner, the Billboard record holder. It is a brand that represents music, performance, and a decade of building one of the most loyal and globally distributed fan bases in the history of the streaming era. Benito Antonio is a real name. It is the name on a birth certificate, on a trademark application, and apparently on the label of a fashion brand that has not fully revealed itself yet. It is the name that sits underneath the stage name, the person behind the persona, the identity that exists separate from the music industry infrastructure that Bad Bunny operates inside. By splitting the two, by keeping the music under Bad Bunny and filing the fashion trademark under Benito Antonio, he is doing something that very few artists at his level have ever managed to do cleanly. He is building a second empire with a different name, a different identity, and a different category, one that the existing audience knows is connected to him, but that has its own distinct identity that is not dependent on the music for its legitimacy. That is not a celebrity clothing line. That is a brand strategy, a sophisticated, long-term, carefully sequenced brand strategy that used the Met Gala, the most visible fashion platform in the world, as its global launchpad, without a press release, without an announcement, without a single explicit statement that any of this was happening, just a name on a suit, on a red carpet, in front of the entire world. Stop right here, because what we just walked through is the setup, the trademark, the suit, the Zara connection, the split identity strategy. All of that is the foundation. The twist comes next, and the twist is what separates this from every other celebrity fashion launch you have ever seen, including Madonna's fully committed witchy weird Met Gala look that had the entire internet talking the same night. Before we get there, subscribe to the channel right now. hit the button, turn on notifications. This is the channel that reads the room when everyone else is just watching the red carpet. We find the business move inside the fashion moment and the long game inside the headline. Subscribe, then stay, because the comparison between what Bad Bunny did and what Madonna did on the same night is the most interesting thing about this entire evening. Madonna showed up to the Met Gala 2026 in full, witchy, dark, theatrical, completely uncompromising fashion. The look was extreme. It was polarizing. It was exactly the kind of choice that gets 100 million impressions in 24 hours, because half the internet loves it and the other half cannot believe it exists. It was a performance, a statement, a reminder that she has been making the most talked about entrances on this specific red carpet for longer than most current celebrities have been alive. She knows exactly what she's doing. She has always known. Bad Bunny, on the same night, wore a clean custom suit with a name on it that very few people recognized, and even fewer understood the implications of. His look was not extreme. It was not designed to break the internet with shock value. It was designed to be photographed, documented, filed, and remembered later, when the name Benito Antonio appears on clothing in stores, and people trace it back to this exact moment and realize they were watching a launch without knowing they were watching a launch. Madonna made a moment. Bad Bunny made a move. Both are valid, both are intentional, but they are different kinds of intelligence operating on the same stage, and recognizing the difference between them is how you understand what actually happened on that red carpet versus what the headlines said happened.
Here is the thing that reframes the entire evening. The Met Gala was not the event for Bad Bunny. The Met Gala was the advertisement. The product is Benito Antonio, the fashion brand that has not officially launched yet, the name that is sitting in a trademark application tied to clothing, waiting for the moment when the visibility is right and the infrastructure is in place and the audience is primed. And what better way to prime a global audience for a fashion brand launch than to dress the founder in a custom, co-designed suit and walk him in front of the most photographed fashion event in the world, without saying a single word about what is coming, without a press release, without a launch event, without any of the traditional marketing machinery that a lesser strategist would have deployed. Just a name on a suit at the Met Gala, letting the photographs do the work, letting the trademark do the legal groundwork, letting the Zara relationship signal the manufacturing and distribution infrastructure already in place, and letting the audience, the hundreds of millions of people who love Bad Bunny, who trust Benito, who will follow this man into any category he decides to enter, put the pieces together on their own time. That is not how celebrity fashion brands usually launch. Celebrity fashion brands usually launch with a splashy announcement, a campaign, a press moment, and a celebrity-studded event with photographers and branded content everywhere. They launch loud because they need the noise to generate the interest. Benito Antonio launched quiet because it does not need the noise. It already has the audience. The audience has been built over a decade, across multiple platforms, in multiple countries, in a language that crossed every barrier the industry said it would not cross. The brand does not need to introduce itself to the audience. The audience already knows the person behind it. They have known him for years. The Met Gala was not the destination, it was the starting gun, and most people watching did not even hear it fire. The honest friend truth about what is happening here, and this is the part worth sitting with, is that Bad Bunny is doing something that very few artists at his level have ever done cleanly, on their own terms, without losing the thing that made them significant in the first place. He is building beyond music without abandoning music. He is expanding his identity without diluting it. He is using the cultural capital he spent a decade earning, not selling it to a brand that will put his name on a product and call it a collaboration, but investing it into something that he owns, that carries his real name, that will exist as a business entity independent of his next album cycle or streaming performance. Bad Bunny, the artist, is one of the most powerful names in music right now. Benito Antonio, the brand, is potentially something different, something that outlasts a career, that builds equity over decades, that exists in people's wardrobes and daily lives in a way that a streaming number never can. That is the play. Long, patient, quiet, and executed on a red carpet in front of the entire world without anyone being told it was happening. He was running through New York City days before. He showed up in a suit he helped design. He put a name on it that has a trademark filing, and he left the Met Gala having launched something that most of the audience will not fully understand until they are buying it in a store. That is not a fashion moment. That is a business plan, and it was hiding in plain sight the entire time. Bad Bunny filed a trademark for Benito Antonio tied to clothing. He showed up to the Met Gala in a custom Zara co-design. He debuted the name visually for the first time in front of the most photographed red carpet in the world. And he did all of it without saying a single word about what was coming. That is not a celebrity fashion line. That is a brand launch disguised as a night out. Madonna gave you the moment, Bad Bunny gave you the blueprint, and most people watching the same red carpet only saw one of the two. If this channel is where the red carpet becomes the business school and the headline becomes the real story, subscribe right now, hit the notification bell, drop a comment. Do you think Benito Antonio is going to be the next major fashion brand, or is this a one-time collaboration dressed up in trademark language? Because this community does not do surface-level answers. See you in the next one.